All right, so that asshole signed the bill yesterday. So we knew that this was happening. People um, that have been following us know that this was going to happen. We saw what happened with SB 277, how everybody in the Senate, or I shouldn't say everybody, but the majority of people were receiving funds from the pharmaceutical industry. We saw in the hearing that Senator Penn turned around and consulted with two pharmaceutical lobbyists. We saw the 700 people that showed up um, in opposition of Bill SB 277 and the 50 people that did, and they passed it anyway. Among those people were people in the medical industry and other doctors and scientists who opposed the bill for scientific reasons. I saw people go to the offices, send them information, and these people purposely chose to ignore the information. So you can't even say that they didn't know, you know? So, we just need to overturn the Senate. How do we do that? Get some lawyers on this. How do we do that? Because that's what Italy did. We need to be like Italy. That's what they did. They tried to force vaccine mandates federally, and they were like, and they had huge marches in the street. It was like the March on Washington, right? And people are saying, which I totally agree, that this is the new civil rights movement. Right, so they overturned their Senate, and they threw everybody out and elected new people, because these assholes need to remember that they work for us, not for the corporations, not for big pharma, not for the pharmaceutical industries, not for the CDC, not for the government officials that are profiting off of vaccine injured children, but for us. Okay. So, very interesting information has just come out too, that Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, does not even vaccinate his own children. And he's pushing this shit on us. So all you pro-vaxxers who, are religiously devoted to vaccines and how wonderful they are and how they save lives, you need to ask yourself, why are they pushing this stuff on us and they don't even vaccinate their own children? Right? There's a scientist from Merck, who's a pharmaceutical industry, who is a pharmaceutical company, that came out, whistleblower basically, and he said that he actually manufactured vaccines, and he found out what was in them. He has 4 children, not one of them are vaccinated, not once. Okay, there are other whistleblowers who have attested to this too, that have been involved with making vaccines, or doctors that they have their own vaccine injured children, and they saw how harmful vaccines were, because doctors aren't taught about this in medical school. The doctors that are awake on this issue, they've actually had to go outside of their medical training to understand how deadly they are, because the pharmaceutical industry controls the curriculum. So, and they're taught to ridicule anything that's outside of that. So why would they look, unless they have a reason to? And it's sad, a lot of them have wake-up calls. Either they were injured themselves, or they saw a patient injured with their own eyes, or they had a family member that was injured by vaccines, and then they start to look into it. But these people that are pushing this on us po folk, right? And they're not, they can buy their way out of medical exemptions and all this shit. They know they can do that, right? Money and power buys you anything you want. So they can push these bills, and then they can get an exemption. They can have they can have their shit forged. Like, don't be naive, people. Don't be naive, okay? Don't act like these people that are pushing the laws are going to follow them, right? Like, we're it's a different, like, class system, okay? So now this asshole Pan, he also texted that they want to have this stuff in the work, like parents have the right to refuse. It's on our page. Go to Truth or Talk on Facebook, and I posted, or April posted the tweet, and showing that Senator Pan mentioned that they want to have vaccines in the workplace. They're coming after adults too, so don't think it stops here. They want everybody vaccinated. And they want all the lower class, the lower folk, the rubble, the villagers, the peasants vaccinated, right? And they not going to get them themselves, because they don't even know how dangerous it is, right? So this is ridiculous, ridiculously evil, right? Sounds like conspiracy, sounds like an agenda. These assholes that are pushing this shit on us, they won't take it themselves, right? Dr. Oz saying that, he doesn't vaccinate his kids on camera. He's very clever. You have to read between the lines, but I'm paraphrasing, but he says that, I'm going to get the flu shot, but my wife doesn't vaccinate our kids. I was like, oh, really? Aren't they your kids too? Like, how, if you're a doctor and you're telling everybody else to get the flu shot, why aren't your children getting it? If they're so important and everybody has to have them, right? That would, if I really believe that flu shots were great, that's like grounds for divorce. I'm like, oh yeah, like, you're not going to vaccinate my kids, or I'm going to divorce you. Oh no, my wife said so. So, I'm not going to, I'm at home, I'm Mr. Oz. I'm not Dr. Oz. That's some bullshit. Are you serious? I kind of think that I'm hoping that he did that on purpose, because he probably feels like he's between a rock and a hard place, and he wants to give some people some insight because he knows what he's doing is wrong. I think there are people that do have consciences, and that are kind of trapped in their situation, and they're trying to warn people. But there are also people that just don't give a fuck. Like Pan just doesn't give a fuck. He wants to. He's been saying that he wants the whole population vaccinated, right? There's I'll put this in the link too. There's a population in China with 99.9% measles vaccination, yet they have outbreaks of measles like all the time, at least 700 between I forgot the years, but it was a few years ago. They had 700 measles outbreaks and a 99.9% vaccinated population. And I'm guessing maybe the 0.9 is like the tourists that come through there that maybe aren't vaccinated, but everybody gets, like, there's no exceptions. They don't have any exemptions. Well, you have some place like Japan that has, they don't even have mandatory vaccination, right? They have voluntary vaccination, and they don't have outbreaks at all, right? And then you look at the so-called measles outbreak that we had at Disneyland, which was bullshit. I think that was manufactured. And then you have the one that that happened in New York, right, where they seemed to that they couldn't find any pictures of anybody that had measles anywhere, like, so much so that they were caught faking pictures showing people that had the measles, right? And you don't see people. I'm just like, where are all these people, right? Wouldn't there be, if it's a huge outbreak, I'm thinking of like the Stand, right? Wouldn't there be people in the streets with measles everywhere? It seems that can't really find any, but yet they know how to scare people, right? And if you look into the history of polio and smallpox, it's the same thing. So polio, if you look at the CDC website, polio is a stomach virus, right? So people that got paralyzed with polio was only 1% of the population. So I don't really know the census. I'm actually working on a project talking about this, but I don't know the census for that time period. But just say for this period, right? 1% of the population would be like 300 million people. We have about 300 million people, I'm guessing. And then I did a search for the amount of cities in America, which was about 19,000 some odd figure. And I divided that, and I came up with, like, during that era, it would be like 1.5 people per city that got paralyzed from polio. Yeah, they're saying that it was an epidemic. Are you fucking kidding me? And then I went to a historical picture website where they had people that were in iron lungs. Have you seen that famous picture of all these people in iron lungs? The historical website, not an anti-vaccine, not a pro-vaccine website, it was just a historical picture website, said that this was staged. It was staged for the March of Dimes. And if you look at the machines, they're not even plugged in. And the picture even notes that. They're like, if you look at the machines, the trick out at EB2s and stuff, they're not really real. So you can tell this is a staged picture. I was like, then I start asking my parents. And my parents are, the parents have me late, so my parents are like 75. My mom, my uncle, other people I know that are up in age, right? How many people do they know that have polio, right? And I'm not saying people didn't get paralyzed. I'm just saying it wasn't an epidemic, right? And there's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into that today because it's very long. But you have to think about history, right? And why we believe the things that we believe, why we're scared of the things that we were scared of. And a lot of the stuff that we believe, we don't even research, right? We just trust that the people in authority they know what they're talking about, and that they have our best interest in mind. So you have that, and then you have Leicester, England, with the whole smallpox situation where they had an outbreak there, and they didn't even use the vaccines. They stopped using the vaccines, and they had an outbreak there that was caused by the vaccines. And you know how they got rid of it? Sanitation. Cleaning up, because it was an industrial town, and this is when knowledge of like how to clean up your city, because people they didn't use like trash incineration, they didn't have plumbing, they didn't have sewage systems and all this stuff. When they start to figure that out and put all that in, they were able to wipe it out. 100% Okay, look up. You guys want to see something trippy? Look up Leicester, England smallpox, right? And there were so many people at the time. You don't know this, right? Because this is just erased, right? They selectively pick history, right? The winners write the history. So the people that have the most money that were able to get the real story, not the real story, but the story, the version that they wanted out, they um they were able to write the narrative that smallpox was killing everybody, and then the vaccine came and it's like save the day, but that's not true, right? There was so many people that were against Jenner, who invented the smallpox vaccine in 1796. One of them was the co-founder of natural selection. Bet you didn't know that either. I can't wait to put that in the comments, right? So he was an evolutionary biologist named Alfred Russel Wallace, who was a strong anti-vaccination advocate. Oh, bet you didn't know this either, that the anti-vaxxers have been around since the invention of the vaccines, right? But little, they would have you believe that it started with like Jenny McCarthy and Andrew Wakefield. But no, there were people that knew this shit was bullshit from the jump. So can't wait to put that in the comment section, right? And I made copies for anybody that wants to like erase the links or tattle on us and say that I made copies of all my shit, by the way. So all you trolls that want to like tattle and be like, oh, they're spreading false information because maybe you paid like, I don't know, $250,000 for medical school and you're too pissed that a black woman that's probably like younger than you, like didn't go to medical school, is much more intelligent and knowledgeable on and a redhead a ginger like us too are like much more intelligent, knowledgeable than you on that subject than you are. And you shouldn't really be mad at us. You should be mad at the medical institutions that bamboozled you. Sorry, not my fault, right? And I'm not saying that I can perform surgery or put a stent in, or there's, I'm not saying that your medical education is invalid, right? I don't go to allopaths unless I break something, or maybe, God forbid, I'm shot in a drive by shooting or stab. I don't fuck with y'all because y'all don't know what to do. Nothing. All you do is like write prescriptions. That's it. That's it, right? So I have great doctors now. I have a naturopath, I have a chiropractor, I have an herbalist, I have a homeopath. I deal with them. So if I'm sick or if I'm having other issues, even if I get cancer, I would never fucking go to an allopathic doctor. I'm fucking done with y'all, okay? Y'all are good for like car accidents, drive-by shootings, shit like that. But when it comes to disease and vaccines, y'all don't know jack shit, okay? And I'm sorry you don't. I actually feel bad for you because you're actually hurting more people than you're helping. And I have sympathy for you. I know you guys are in a lot of debt. That sucks. I feel like you're trapped. But let's work together because there are parents that, it's a shame that your egos get you're so fragile. We really just want to work together because I don't think a lot of doctors, they don't want to hurt people. They became a doctor because they want to be healers and they want to help people, right? But the doctors, like that psychopath pan that's just like saying that, oh, there are no aborted fetal tissues in vaccines. Nigga, did you read an insert? Do you read? Wow, like that's so easily provable, right? And then you wonder why people are losing faith in science. Faith in science, right? Listen to the wording, faith in science. It's like a religion, right? Like faith, right? Science is a methodology, right? It's objective. It's supposed to be objective. And it's supposed to clear away any subjective bias. So you have certain rules and regulations that you abide by to make sure that bias is omitted and just get straight to the facts, right? So there are no feelings, basically, right? But they don't even follow their own rules. They don't even use a double blind randomized placebo control study, which means a double blind means like the scientist and the person that's getting the experiment, they don't know. Right? So, and random means it's random people, so they're not picked. Nobody knows on either side. And it's controlled, meaning the environment is controlled, so they know what, they can control, like maybe, or limit any other factors that can maybe alter the results, right? So these are the things that need to be, this is their rules, their methodology that they don't, that they don't even abide by. But yeah, they want to say that we're like the religious zealots and we don't know the science. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't know the science, and you guys are getting butthurt because you don't know. And it's sad, you know, it's sad. And then you're like, people are losing faith, you know, anti-vaxxers is a disease. We must tell the World Health Organization. I have a degree. I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, dude, not my fault. Get mad at the people who lied to you. We didn't lie to you. We're telling the truth. Guess what? The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. So when you're done getting pissed, please join us in this fight to save humanity, because you are actually on the side that's destroying humanity. Now, I know that you probably don't want to be on that side, and you know you're gonna have to do some soul searching, some deep digging. But you know, truth be told, the doctors that have come out, we totally forgive you. We forgive you because we know the position you're in. But if you want to be stubborn and you know and fight us, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, because the truth is not on your side, science is not on your side, morality is not on your side, and karma is not on your side. So keep it up, because the more that you push and you're pushing these mandates, the more people are waking up, and you're gonna fall. You're gonna fall hard. Okay? Just so you know. All right. Another thing, man, don't get too much hair. This is vacation hair. This shit is like this shit is massive. I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get like fake dreads and not do my hair for like a month. Dude, I can't even swim in these. It's like a whole, like I have a hair baby on my head. Anyway, please follow us on Chute. My arm is getting tired. I don't have my holder that I usually use. My arm is getting tired. All right, so please follow us on Chute. You can follow us in Steemit and Minds, because we know that we're eventually going to get kicked off. So, follow us there. We're not active there, so if you want to contact us through YouTube or Facebook. But still, follow us there in case, you know, you wake up and our pages and our channels are gone. Yeah, that's where we will be. We're on MeWe too, but we're not really active there as much. So any other social media where you find Truth or Talk, you can, you know, tell by our post. If we have the little bunny in the hole, that's our little symbol, and you can see my videos or April and stuff. You can see who we are. If there is another Truth or Talk, I think there's one on Facebook, but other than that, I haven't seen any other Truth or Talks. So, all right, guys. Peace through love. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Mwah.